Now, as mentioned in our lead news story this morning, Police Minister Fikile Mbalula has appealed to communities to help in the fight against crime by reporting suspicious activities in the neighbourhoods. 3 people were arrested yesterday. This after police discovered a major drugs manufacturing lab worth millions of rands in a house in Dobsonville, Soweto. The SAPS is stepping up action against cartels operating in the area. And to discuss this further, we're joined in the studio by the police spokesperson for the Minister Fikile Mbalula, the spokesperson Vuyo Mhaga. Good to have you, Vuyo. Thank you very much for coming in.
Morning, thank you very much.
Big bust yesterday. I mean, this was massive, and we were watching it on as it was happening. And I mean, the reality is this is exactly what we need to target. But let's first talk about the history of this particular bust.
Actually, it was quite huge. It was assisted mainly by our guys, the Hawks, intelligence from the Western Cape. So there's been a lot of work, because majority of these drugs were actually destined for Western Cape. So they had to work backwards. It was extremely intelligence-driven policing to understand exactly where is exactly the source. And they located the source in the middle of Soweto, in Dobsonville. And that's when we then started to monitor the house. And then from there, yesterday the police pounced in, basically.
Yeah. I mean, how long do you think that particular place has been operating for in Dobsonville?
Well, we're not quite sure, but surely it's been quite long because of the information that has been coming from the Western Cape and the work that has been done by our guys there. It has been long, but we're really not quite sure exactly how long it has actually been there.
It's quite, I mean, one would think that there would have been at least some tip-offs, at least, as well, of people living in the area, certain smells, suspicious behavior. One would think that people would be more vigilant when it comes to that, because, I mean, this is a major operation that's going on there.
No, true. I mean, that's one of the things that the minister actually did after he finished speaking with the journalist. He went to speak to the community that I think we need to get more involved. We need to know each other in the neighborhood. We need to understand, who's staying where and who's doing what. That old setup, where you'll just pop up from the neighbor for a tea. Surely this will have been actually done. But obviously we cannot necessarily rule off, obviously, that the community will have assisted, but we are saying that they should have obviously do more because, I mean, that factory is exactly in the middle of a township where people are staying, where kids are. Their own kids are actually in danger of those kind of factories.
Yeah. When we look at this particular operation, I mean, this was manufacturing Mandrax tablets. How much is an operation like that worth? And how many actual drugs did you find there? I mean, you found the machinery and everything, but I mean, packed, ready to go. Is that the kind of scene you found?
Geez, there are 2 different areas where one was in Dobsonville, where you've got inputs, drums, 2 kgs, 20 kg. I think we, give or take, I think we'll have about 283 kilograms there. And then the ones that were already ready for shipment that we found in Orlando, it was also huge. It was already ready for the streets. So it was quite a huge, drug pack.
A huge operation. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable to think about it. So 3 people have been arrested so far. 1 person on the scene, 2 elsewhere. 2
also on the ones that were already ready for shipment are already arrested. But obviously we're still going to get more. The owner of the house, other people that will have been around during the course of this week. I think we'll have obviously arrested everyone up.
I just want to get back to the relevance in the area. I mean, we're talking about Dobsonville. I mean, it's the heart of Soweto, and you say, I mean, there are families living there, there are children all over the place, and I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that nobody noticed that this was a suspicious household. I mean, what does it tell you about communities these days? I mean, are we sort of locking our heads, locking away and putting our heads in the sand and sort of not looking at the activities of neighbours? Because I know that was a very big message from the minister yesterday. You've got to get involved. I mean, in the middle of Dobsonville, in a house, is a factory that are killing millions of South Africans.
Correct. I mean, the first police people actually ought to be communities, because really these criminalities happen within communities. Majority of them sometimes ought to be known by the communities. That's why we're then saying, the communities must be quite vigilant. Your neighborhood watch, your street committees will have assisted, really, if they were in place, because you'll have understood that really there's something suspicious that is happening here. We don't know this person who's staying here. at least if we do know, we'll have understood what kind of activities that are being run there.
Yeah.
So we always urge the communities really to be quite vigilant.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's sort of logic behind these manufacturers as well to set up in areas like Dobsonville, residential areas and places that you would least suspect it?
Well, I guess because, I mean, we will know, I mean, in your next door neighbor, is actually a factory.
Yeah.
Remember, it's high walls. Everyone, you just drive off from work, come back, you do your own business. So really no one really suspects, what is happening with each other. So that's one of the, I think, the disguise that they're using.
Yeah. The SABC, when the SAPS talk, and you very much so do talk about stepping up action against cartels, how much of this necessitates participation on cooperation from both national and international police services? Because obviously, I mean, you say this was destined for Cape Town, but who knows where else it was going?
No, true. I mean, you'll know, I think about a couple of weeks back, the minister was in Singapore to the Interpol. So we are signatories to the, to the international police to make sure that all these syndicates, we find a way to cooperate with other countries in the world to make sure that we are able to cut, all the cartels that are happening, because drugs is quite a huge, I mean, a small pill, we are told that the street value is about 50 rands in Cape Town. I mean, with the amount of pills and packets that we saw there, you can just close your eyes and imagine how much it was.
Yeah. Well, thank you for talking to us here on the program. Huge bust that happened yesterday, but I think the scariest part was that in the middle of Dobsonville in Soweto, residential area, no one suspected it, no one knew it. The minister talking and calling out for a lot of people to be vigilant. I mean, do you know your next door neighbor? Do you have any idea what your neighbor is up to? I mean, have you ever walked across, knocked on their door and sort of said, hi, I'm your neighbor, have you ever seen anything? I mean, or have we just become so isolated in our lives that we're not interested in anybody else and we're just too scared to get involved? We'd love to hear from you at Morning Live, SABC. Vuyo Mhaga, SAPS spokesperson. Thank you. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Leah.
Let's take a break. We'll have your news at 7 after this. Do stay tuned.